Have a seat. Do you know how I know this conversation is blessed? Anybody? Anybody know how I know that this congregation and conversation is blessed? I have found favor in our sight. Come on, it was from the Old Testament. That's all I got. You know, I thought about that the whole time I heard the Old Testament. I was like, there's got to be a joke there somewhere, right? No? Whatever. On to the sermon. You guys are no fun. That's Favor, everyone. That's her name. She's in our sight. I'm going to start over. Do you guys know how I know this congregation's blessed?
How do you know?
We found favor in our side. Amen. I'm done. This is perhaps one of the most misquoted gospels ever out there in the world, because everybody says the same thing. Render unto. What's it say in the gospel? The emperor. Is Caesar the emperor right now? Caesar lived around 300. This was written around 75 to 85. Caesar was not the emperor. Maybe he was. Who knows? He could have been. He probably was. I don't know. But what I do know is this. This is one of the least fun things to preach about because it always evokes the necessity to preach on stewardship. Every year for 8 years, 7 years, because 1 year my boss did it for me, I have had the honor to be able to preach over stewardship season. I got to do it at St. Luke's in Bartlesville, where I crushed it, and you guys will never know that I didn't because you weren't there. You were, but be quiet. What's that? Nah, those are details. So, can I be honest with you for a minute? I really hate stewardship season. I hate it because it's a season. Because there are only 7 seasons in the church. Stewardship is not one of them. I know when I wear green, people are like, oh, it must be the season of stewardship. No, it's not. It's not at all. I don't like it because I feel like we put a lot of importance on a month of getting ready to do what all of you know we're supposed to do anyway, right? Is there anybody in here who has never heard that they're supposed to give to the church? I'm serious. I'm actually asking that question. Is there anyone among you who has ever heard, oh, you're not supposed to give to the church? If so, please don't go to that church. Sounds cheaper, but here we are. I don't think that the issue is that people don't know. I think the issue is that people don't know what it goes to. And I can prove it. Mom, I know you're watching. I love you. This isn't to embarrass you at all. It was a great moment for me. We were sitting in the living room and we were talking about budget because, that's what we do at home. We talk about church budgets. It's the worst. We were talking about budget and Mom goes, well, so is the diocese going to give you a raise this year? Now, I didn't say anything. But I said, who do you think pays my salary? And she said, the bishop? And I said, no. My brother thinks that I get paid out of the plate every month. I'm glad you're laughing about that. It's not that the gifts are small, it's just, come on. He also thinks that I take money out of it. I don't. But I realized that other churches, they go through this thing where they do 4 weeks of stewardship. They do one sermon on time. They do one sermon on talent. Somebody said it. What's the third one? And then the fourth one is like the comprehensive exam that comes after that, where I make sure you all understood the first three, right? But this year I got really, really aggravated with this thing that we do. And here's the reason. This church experiences a lot of visitors every week. 2 is a lot to me. So if 2 people come for a month straight and all I'm talking about is ways to give, doesn't that seem a little off-putting? But Father Sean, it's so important. Well, yeah, it is. It is. Do you think somebody who's visiting is going to give right off the bat? No. Sometimes they do because they've been to another Episcopal church or church, period, and they know how to do it, but most people don't know the why. They don't know the why. You can tell somebody to do something 1,000 times, and if you never tell them why, they'll never take pride in it. You agree with that? I do too. I never knew why I crossed myself in my teenage years, so I never did it. When somebody told me why, I was blown away. It's like, really? That's what that means? For those of you wondering, it's a remembrance of Jesus Christ. Every time the resurrection comes up, we cross ourselves. It's in veneration. I didn't understand why people look like they were at the Wailing Wall sometimes during service. You see me do that all the time, don't you? Why? I'm reverencing the name of Jesus. Right? So the why behind how the church is funded is important. So instead of giving you 4 sermons this year over time, talent, and treasure, can we all agree that the church needs your time, your talent, and your treasure? Can we all agree that? This is an honest conversation. Can we agree to this? Can we agree that perhaps someone standing up and saying 10% before taxes, 10% after taxes? Amen. That doesn't work, which actually happened. Doesn't work. Why? What's the point? Why? This church has a budget of $340,000 a year. Is that surprising to some of you? It was surprising to me. When I first came into ministry, I was like, they cost how much to do what now? I mean, y'all got like an electric bill or a water bill or some stuff like that, right? But the church is funded not only by you and by me, and I want to make that abundantly clear, Nicole and I do give. It's funded by us to do the things we do. Does anybody like the fact that we feed people on Tuesdays? Did you know that we feed people on Tuesdays? It's 21 now, Helen? 14, it's gone down a little bit. COVID, yeah, happens. 14. Those 14 people get meals because we help fund it. Paula, you here? Anywhere? Hi, Paula. About how much do you say you spent in the Learning Locker last year? About $1,500? Where'd that come from? Our people. Yeah. June, do you like buying new candles and stuff? Don't answer that because I know you do. I see the receipts. Do you like making vestments? Do you like making sure that all the stuff is here? Where's that money come from? From the budget. Anybody heard of Socks of Love? How much do we give Socks of Love every single month? Do you know? $500. How much is that a year? $6,000 for you mathematical geniuses out there. You see how it adds up? Do you like Trina Jones? Anybody in here afraid to say no to that? That's what I thought. Does she do a phenomenal job? Does she take care of our kids? Does she take care of your priest? Does she take care of this church? Would you hate to see her go? I'm not going to ask the next question because I'm afraid of the answer. But instead I'll ask this, just a show of hands. Have you ever needed a priest before? Some of you know, not yet. You ever buried a loved one? What about children? Let's make it happy. Anybody in here ever had kids? Have they been baptized in this place? Will they be baptized in this place, Coy? Have any of you been out in the surrounding community and needed a place to go because you just felt like you didn't belong anywhere else and needed a group of people to love on you for a little while when you were a teenager with your brother? Yeah. Coy came to us, kind of an orphan on the back porch looking for somewhere to be. Look where he is now. He's leading the acolytes. He's married to Holly. He's about to have a baby, and he's still here. Anybody in here ever gotten married in this church? Raise hand. Raise hands. Raise hands. Where is she? There it is. You like priests to do that too, right? Yeah. Oh, somebody gonna get married pretty soon? Yeah. Where are you getting married? Really? How far away is that?
It's like 5 hours.
Am I going to that? I'm driving 5 hours back and forth? Weird. So priests are necessary too, right? Do y'all like Mark Lau? Be careful now. I like Mark Lau a lot. Mark plays for us. What about Eric Howland? Do you like him? They like Eric more than you, Mark. I like you more. What about Kay? Kay Kelso, the child whisperer. She is. Have you seen this woman around kids? Seriously, it's unbelievable. You have a grace about you that I will never understand. Why do you give to the church? For all those things. How many of you, when you first came to the church, were taken out to a lunch? Raise your hands. Yeah. That's the newer members. The older ones of you are like, I want a lunch. What the heck? Y'all are grandfathered in. Sorry. No Charleston's for you. Sean McCarty back there going, Father Sean, I like hot dogs. I know. We'll make something up. The point of all this is this. Guys, listen. I don't want to come to you hat in hand. I don't want to feel like I need to do special dinners, like I need to write letters, like I need to call you individually. I don't want to feel like doing that because it is anxiety-inducing for not only me, but for you. You give as much as you can, and I know you do. Some of you are on fixed incomes. You're giving literally everything you can, and I know that. Some of you aren't giving, and there's reasons for that, and I know that, but I ask you to discern it. Why not? Some of you already give, and I know you will continue to give, and you may up that pledge. I hope you do. Because just like with the world, costs go up. We need money to continue to do the ministry that we do here. I don't want money so that I can look at my peers and say, hey, guess how much my church raised this year? I don't care about that. I'm not in competition with any other church in the world. What I am concerned about is that we can continue to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, to friend the lonely, to provide services for those outside these walls and within them, to keep teaching on Sundays, to keep preaching on Wednesdays, to keep beautifying the area around so we can draw more and more people in. We actually have a family here who saw the front area and came in because of that. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. I'm fine with that. Give the emperor the money you need to. But never for one moment think that the dollars you give this place will be wasted. I want you to know how vital each dollar is. I want you to know how vital it is that we continue this ministry. And I also want you to know that I'm not going to make this a work of anxiety anymore, because I believe in a God that gives, And I believe in a God that changes us to be giving. I believe in the God that says, pray, have faith, and I will show you the way. And whether we have too much or too little, God's still there. So no matter what happens this stewardship season, this church will stand. We may have to tighten our belt, or we may be blessed enough to get another ministry going and help some more people out in the world. Wouldn't that be great? But either way, we're going to continue on. No more anxiety about giving around here. I'm not going to mail you pledge cards. I'm not going to hand them to you as you walk in. They will be in a stack. If you want one, I want you to seek one out, because I want that to be your decision and not something that I make you feel bad for. I want you to do it because you're giving glory to God by virtue of the mission of God's church in this world. So the last question I'll ask is this: do you believe in what the Church of Resurrection is doing? Then help me out. Let's make sure it keeps going.